Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to another video, and this is a paid request for Brian. I don't know why my voice cut out. Brian. Sorry about that, but Brian, thank you for your patience on this. He wanted me to do a commentary on the Nutty Professor II, the Klumps, or the Klumps. Might as well be the Klumps, because 20 is, someone's hoard shit. And, I mean, I don't need my damn headphones. I don't want to listen to fucking dial. I got subtitles on anyway, so I can always read the subtitles. But for anyone that wants to request any type of commentaries, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And again, I know why he sent me this, because he knows I don't like the film and he wants me to rant on it, and hopefully I'll do it justice. So I'm pause the beginning, 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And we got Universal. Now, I know there are people that do like these Nutty Professor films. I'm not one of them. When I think of Eddie Murphy, I think of The Golden Child is my favorite Eddie Murphy film. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. I actually liked the fourth one that came out. Bullfinger was good. I'd rather watch... I mean, hell, I'm not the biggest Trading Places fan, but I'd rather watch that than this. I liked the film Showtime. The Distinguished Gentleman, I liked that film. Coming to America, I don't mind. This, a lot of just juvenile jokes, fart jokes, fat jokes, all that stuff. And it was like low brow, bottom of the barrel. I mean, I still think Norbit is his worst film, or one of his worst films, but this... So yeah, Janet Jackson, they couldn't get the... I think it was Jada Pinkett in the first one. This is when Eddie really wanted to get into playing the multiple characters, which he did in Coming to America. Eddie playing multiple characters is never what I went for in Eddie Murphy films. Eddie Murphy films, it's him, the wisecracking, the quick wit. That's what I wanted out of him. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, 48 Hours, another 48 Hours, Golden Child. That's what my favorite parts. This stuff, not so much. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, he's as bad as Tyler Perry playing multiple characters, but this stuff was never really my cup of tea when it comes to Eddie Murphy. I think this is a nightmare sequence. Rick Baker comes back. He did the effects on the first movie. Of course, Rick Baker, he was an American Werewolf in London special effects guy. Many other stuff throughout. Harry and the Hendersons. I think he might have won an Oscar for the first movie. I think. I could be wrong on that because of the fat suits and stuff. So he comes back for this one. And the first Nutty Professor was a nice hit, and Eddie Murphy kind of needed that because his films were not really doing that well in the 90s. I like another 48 Hours, but some would consider that a disappointment at the box office. People didn't like it nearly as good as, or as well as the first one. Boomerang, I think, did okay, or so, but the Distinguished Gentleman did not do that well. Vampire in Brooklyn wasn't that good. Beverly Hills Cop 3 did awful business. So his films were not doing well. It wasn't until he did The Nutty Professor and this film, then he did Doctor Dolittle, Doctor Dolittle 2. Those were his box office hits, the more family friendly movies, if you want to call this family friendly. I'm more into Metro. Like, Metro is more my type of film. One of the big first jokes is, oh my god, he's got a big hard on dick, but it's buddy love. So yeah, that's literally like the first big joke is, oh my god, he's got this huge hard on, and it's this. We thought it was his dick, now it's out of his ass. Oh my god, he's coming out of his ass. Which, I mean, that could be worded a bit differently. It's coming out of his ass. And they had a lot more, I mean, as the title suggests, a lot more of the Klumps. The Klumps were not as big of a part of the movie in the first film. Yeah, the dinner sequences, yeah, the dinner sequences, Hercules, Hercules. And they figured we just gotta add a lot more. Now it says Jerry Lewis was the executive producer, but I don't know how much Jerry Lewis was actually involved in this, or it was just, I got a paycheck. Now, interesting that this guy, Earl Bowen, I believe his name, he was the psychologist in the Terminator, and Terminator 2. I wonder if that's how he got hired for this. Like, hey, let's get that guy that was in Terminator 2, and he'll be our psychiatrist, or psychologist, however you want to put it. But yeah, Terminator 1 and 2, and I think he had a cameo in Terminator 3. And this film, it might have did fine. I don't think, I don't remember how this did, to be honest. I don't think this was as well liked as the first one. Although I'm still surprised there was not a third movie, because, I mean, with how they just really want to milk franchises, I'm surprised they haven't brought this back. Once in a while, that, I mean, again, Beverly Hills Cop 4 I liked. I thought it was a much better ending to the franchise than Beverly Hills Cop 3. But more often than not, it comes off as pretty lousy. So this does have a 4.5 out of 10 IMDb. I'm actually surprised by that. But good, it just fucking deserves it. So the idea of the plot is that some semblance of buddy love is still in there, so it's like Tourette's. He wants to find a way to get rid of it, but then bad things occur. Now, this is directed by Peter Segal, who did Tommy Boy, which I love. My Fellow Americans I really liked, although I think the actors were not a fans of the director. I think especially James Garner mentioned how he felt the director was a self-appointed genius who didn't know his ass from second base, and both Jack Lemmon and I knew it. So they weren't fans of him. Anger Management I liked, 50 First Dates, The Longest Yard, Grudge Match, which was awful, My Spy, and then they did a sequel, My Spy, both with Dave Bautista. I forgot there was a sequel to that. So again, the director has done films I liked. Tommy Boy, I already mentioned them, but this was not one of them. And you have 4 people on the script. 4 people. Did you really need 4 people on this script? So Barry Blaustein, who worked on screenplays for Coming to America and I think the first Nutty Professor, same guy that directed that wrestling doc, Beyond the Mat. So he was one of the writers of this. David Sheffield, who also worked on Coming to America with Barry Blaustein. They also worked on Coming to America too, so talk about an awful sequel. I would say that's worse than this. Coming to America 2. Here we have Larry Miller. Always liked him as a character actor. He was in Pretty Woman. He was in 10 Things I Hate About You. Like I said, I always liked to see him in a movie. Necessary Roughness he was fun in. Trying to think. Oh yeah, Tis Tis Bang Bang. That's right, he was in that. And then Paul Weitz and Chris Weitz. They also helped write this, and they were well, one of them went on to direct what was About a Boy. Well, it was 2 directors. So Paul Weitz, he directed American Pie and Little Fockers. So the director of Little Fockers was one of the writers of this film. So I did, of these 4 writers, one would go on to direct Little Fockers. 2 of them would go on to write Coming to America 2. And they might have done some stuff in the past, but the past is the past. The cinematographer is Dean Semler. Now the reason I'm bringing up Dean Semler is, the funny thing is, this guy did direct, and I want to make sure. I swear he did direct. I can't remember. I thought he directed a movie. I want to make sure. Am I thinking of someone else? I'm thinking of something else. So, who directed Firestorm with Harry Lawn? Sorry, I gotta look real quick. It was Dean. Okay, so I was right. So the guy who did the cinematography for this film, he did cinematography for, I think, The Road Warrior, a lot of movies. One of the only films he got to direct was fucking Firestorm with Howie Long. He also directed The Patriot with Steven Seagal. So yes, the director of The Patriot, Steven Seagal, and Firestorm, Howie Long, did the cinematography for this. So there you go. Sorry, I'm just looking at the other factoids here. So it costs $84 million, which is a lot of money, but they try to put in more special effects. So it cost $84 million, and it made $123 million in the U.S., 43 overseas, so $166 million worldwide. Well, you gotta think, if it costs $84 million, some say you have to do double. That means it barely did double, and that's not really what studios want. Because how much did the first one make? The first one I want to make sure. The first one made 274 million worldwide. So it made 120 million in the US, but it had a $54 million budget. So while this this film made almost the same amount in the US, like $1 million less, but it cost more. So yeah, that's definitely, and they released it in July, so they thought it'd be a much bigger film. I'm trying to see. I was trying to see what like Jerry Lewis had to do with this stuff. I guess maybe just put his name on it, because of course he had the original, The Nutty Professor, starring Jerry Lewis. So of course they want to recreate the family stuff. Because they really want to emulate those scenes from the first film that all people may have liked and enjoyed and laughed at, but then all you're doing is just you're repeating the stuff. You're just repeating the stuff that you did. And okay, what if you were one of the people that didn't like those scenes? Or you liked those scenes, but a little went a long way, and they thought, okay, maybe a little bit goes a long way, but I don't want to see these characters consistently and constantly. So then we have this drama about these two not being able to fuck. Because that's what I need for my story is these two old fat characters can't have sex. And I'm supposed to give a shit. Sorry, I have to respond to someone. Kind of makes sense now that one of the writers of this film directed American Pie. I think they both. I think like of the four, two of them wrote and one of them directed American Pie. It kind of makes sense with the kind of humor they're going for. This is the humor they thought would really sell for the audience because American Pie was a success. The Austin Powers sequel went more in that direction because the first one, there was some. I mean, there's that scene where Austin Powers pisses for a long time, but they definitely went more for that in the second one. That gross out humor. Here we have a fart. There you go. Fucking fart. Oh my god, he farted on the Tando and it burst the window on with flames because ain't farts funny. Was that? I think that was Chris Elliott. One of the guys putting out the flames. I think that was Chris Elliott. Which that's sad that that's all he got to do. Because Chris Elliott, he was in Groundhog Day, Cabin Boy, and other stuff, and Scary Movie 2, which also has more, but Scary Movie 2 I actually found funny. But yeah, definitely push a lot more of the those type of jokes. I mean, I think Scary Movie 1 was the same year as this, 2000. So definitely the era of trying to go for the more of the gross out jokes, gross out humor. Whether you're more family friendly, more R-rated. And can I find those funny? Sure. Like I said, I like scary movie too. I don't mind the first scary movie, but it's not my favorite kind of humor. It's not my favorite brand of humor. It's the fart jokes, jizz jokes, piss jokes, all that shit. That's not the jokes I look towards. Janet Jackson, I do like some of her songs. The song she did for, well, she didn't do it for it, but it was in the Taking of Beverly Hills, Cat Scratch. Gonna die. Da, 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 da. Oh, you're going to die. Actually, let me look up what was the name of that song. Oh, come on, give me the fucking Black Cat. So it was Black Cat. Let me see like why Jada Pinkett. I mean, I don't care that she didn't come back, but I'm curious if it says why she didn't come back. Janet Jackson, beautiful lady, good singer, not the most in-depth actress. Jada Pinkett left due to marrying Will Smith, her pregnancy, and later her signing on to the Matrix sequels. So that's why. Eddie Murphy was originally meant to portray two more characters in the movie, an Asian character named Mr. Kwan and a Jewish woman. They were cut from the movie. Makeup test busts of the characters were completed, and pictures of them to be found online. He would later play an Asian character in Norbit. Let me see. Pretty much talking about the box office, how it didn't do as well as the first. It opened bigger. It opened to like 40 some million, while the first one opened to like 20 some million. But I think, people saw it and you had a weak word of mouth. Yeah, it wasn't that good, or it wasn't that funny, it wasn't that great, or it wasn't as good as the first, or however people mentioned it. But yeah. And this is one of those instances that, of course, like many sequels, not the first time or last time this has happened. The only time, the only reason, the only formation this sequel is occurring is because the first one made money. It did not need a sequel. I'm not really a fan of the first one. I do think this is worse though. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the first. But yeah, there was no more story to tell. I mean, this is pretty much like him having to go through similar stuff before to woo this person, to woo this woman, to make this woman love him and think that he's worthy of love and of all this stuff. I There's a lot of stuff I don't remember wrong about this. Just I barely remember, but I think something goes wrong because of Buddy Love during this. Because I remember him being kind of depressed, and then the mariachi guys have to leave. it's I mean, I don't give a shit about this scene, but Eddie Murphy is one of my favorite comedians. Yeah, I mean, if I have my top 10 favorite comedians, maybe in the top 5, Eddie Murphy will be in there. For, oh, this is where he's being affected by Buddy Love. And you would think after the first film, this character will learn about communication. Just tell her what's going on. You can't tell me nobody knows about what happened of him and Buddy Love, and if she's confused, you tell me that's like, well, ask my family, ask Larry Miller, ask anyone, they'll tell you the truth about what happened, because they all saw it. So if she's not going to believe in it, there's plenty of witnesses to corroborate what happened to him in the first movie. Just tell her what's going on, tell her what's happening. You know, all so much of this movie could be out of it not happening if you just communicated and told her what was going on. He didn't tell what was going on in the first movie, which led to issues and problems, and you would think he would learn his fucking lesson. But no. But I was talking about Eddie Murphy. The films I grew up with were The Golden Child. I watched the most when I was a kid. I love that film. I adore that film. I watch that all the time. I recite line after line from that movie, and almost every line Eddie Murphy says makes me laugh my ass off. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 are favorites of mine, and those I watched a lot as a kid. I liked Eddie Murphy Raw and Delirious, some of his stand up. Like I said, I do like The Distinguished Gentleman. I mentioned Metro. I think Metro is his most underrated film. Like, I love Metro. I don't even think Metro has a Blu-ray. I could be wrong, but I don't think it has. It has a Blu-ray. I know people got pissed for some reason. Oh my god, the Golden Child got this release from Vinegar Syndrome. I'm like, okay, folks, with all of the shitty fucking films they release, the one you don't bitch about is the Golden Child. Give me a fucking break, dude. They released Mac and Me on 4K. They released some of this other dog shit on 4K. Golden Child is actually a good movie. So I guess that's why people are pissed. Oh my god, they released a good movie. We can't have good movies on this line. Oh, okay, well, enjoy buying your dog shit. I'll buy a movie I actually like and think is good. But, I don't know why they thought this would be, like, people would care about the sex life, the love life of the two older Klumps, which is Eddie Murphy playing himself and playing with himself. Just seemed a bit overboard. Just seemed a bit, I don't want to say pretentious, but it's like, god damn, man. Okay, why are we supposed to care? Why are we supposed to give a shit? Why are we supposed to worry about this guy having a limp fucking dick and their love life being in the shitter? Maybe it just I'm this coming from a guy that did not like those characters in the first movie, so I don't give a shit about what's going on with them and their sex life. But yeah, Norman, I fucking hate. I hate that movie, and that's the thing. When it got to like after Metro, I mean, there weren't a whole lot of Eddie Murphy films I enjoyed. I said I like I like Bowfinger, but that was, yeah, I like Bowfinger. I don't mind. I like Showtime. Tower Heist was a time waster at best. Coming to America 2 was horrible. I mean, Dolomite is My Name. That's a good one. So there's that. There's that new one he's in about, like, it's an armored car comedy thing. Did that even come out? Nobody even talked about that film. I don't even know what the hell it's called. I never saw Candy Cane Lane. I think that's what that's called. I never saw that film. I never saw this new one. What the fuck is it called again? So I have to look. It just bothered me. The Pickup. Oh, it came out August 6th. And no one gave a flying fuck about this movie. On Amazon Prime. Eddie Murphy, Pete Davidson, T.T. Palmer. I think Andrew Dice Clay is in this film. That's random. Yeah, this came out and did absolutely nothing. Wow. I did not hear a single fucking person talk about this movie. The Pickup. 5.49 to be, okay. I didn't hear a single person bring this film up ever. The Pickup. August 6th, wow. So it came and went like the wind. And then before that was Beverly Hills Cop 4, which I did like. I did enjoy the film. I thought that was a pretty good movie. I thought that was actually a good sequel. I would watch that film again. Candy Cane Lane, I never saw. I never heard anybody talk about this film. Yeah, Coming to America 2 is awful. Dolomite Is My Name I like. Mr. Church didn't give a shit about. But yeah, 1,000 Words, Imagine That, Beat Dave, Norbit, Haunted Mansion. There's a lot of bad ones there, man. The later Shreks I didn't care about. I would say, like, the past, let's say 25 years since 2000. The films I liked of his was, since this movie, I didn't realize this film is 25 years old. I just put that together now. Wow. This film just what, July, so a month ago, 25 years ago, 25 years and 1 month ago it came out. Wow. So 25 years. The first Shrek, 2001, was good. I like Showtime. I Spy is there, I guess I could. I don't mind Daddy Daycare. Dreamgirls, not a bad movie. Shrek 2, I could watch. Tower Heist. Dolomite Is My Name I like. Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F I like. So yeah, the past 10 years... Dolomite Is My Name and Beverly Hills Cop 4 is the only two I liked of his. I mean, to be fair, from 2015 to now, he's only done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies in 10 years. So that's a lot, but I don't know, were bad. Coming to America 2, You People, those were awful. He was also in that pilot for that Beverly Hills Cop show that was never... Which, it was unaired, but if you look hard enough, you can find it. I did find it. I did watch the pilot, and Eddie Murphy popped up like 3 or 4 times, and those were the highlights. The rest of it was just lame and shitty. I can see why it wasn't picked up, because who gives a fuck about Axel Foley's son? Which then is funny because they did a movie and it was Axel Foley's daughter. So there you go. Go figure. So here we have 34 minutes, and has the plot really started? We're 34 minutes in, and what's the plot of the film? We're 34. Like, I'll ask you, what's the plot of the film 34 minutes in? Buddy Love is trying to get out of. I can't believe I forgot his damn name. Sherman Klump. And he's going to get married. And he's got to find a way to cure this. Meanwhile, the two older Klumps, they can't have sex, because one goes limp. I guess that's your plot for 35 minutes. And this one guy, like, he's pretty much an invalid. Like, this guy is a senile invalid individual, character-wise, that he can't think, he can't do anything, he can barely move. There's like a piece of rock, whatever, and fucking ate it, trying to eat it. It's like weird form of elder abuse that Granny Klump is getting with this other guy. God, I remember this, just fucking boring too. This movie, just fucking boring, man. Boring. Of course, he had Cape Fear. Oh yeah, Buddy Love is now alive because the dog. But there's a bit of dog DNA, I believe. But yeah, now Buddy Love is a separate person. So he did separate, but now because of the dog. So they're seeing Fear, and just like, Fear, I always remember the remake more. Robert De Niro with the cigar, and now he's doing the same thing. And here's the thing now, with Buddy Love, the one thing he wanted in the first film was to exist, to take over and exist. So now he could do anything. This character can now do anything he wants. He would have the somewhat maybe intellect, or the ideas that Sherman has, that he could go to any company, share them, and get rich. I know that's what he's trying to do here, but his big goal was that he wanted to be his own individual, and now he can. He need to do whatever he wants. So him being the antagonist here, just because it has to be. Like he literally could do anything. I think one of the popcorn guys is the Peter Segal, the director. Steer popcorn guys. I'm sitting there going like, dude, this guy could go anywhere, do anything. To have to deal with this is just like, well, he just has to. And it's like, okay. It just seems like there's a lot more beneficial things that, without having to worry about this shit, that he could do. Because I think that's another thing that I'm slowly remembering now, that he actually gets dumber, Sherman. He loses his knowledge. Which, by that logic, would that mean Sherman? I mean, would Buddy Love start losing stuff too eventually? Or no? So there's going to be another running joke, is that because he has dog DNA, he'll be doing dog things. Because that'll be the funny bit. Eddie Murphy acting like a dog. And having the hots for a dog. I fucking a dog's picture. That's just hilarious. He's I fucking a dog's picture. Great. He wants to fuck the dog. Is the DNA of the dog. Don't you get it? He's a dog fucker. Dog fucker. What's next? He'll be behind the bushes, come out, and the dog will be attached to his dick. And he'll have his hands up, and the dog's there, attached to his dick, wanting to get the fuck off. Well, both ways, maybe get the fuck off. Anyway. Man. It's just not my kind of Eddie Murphy comedy, man. It's not. It really isn't. See, he's a dog, so he thinks the bathroom is like, oh, that means I gotta take a dump on a newspaper. Which doesn't make sense. A dog wouldn't even think that. A dog doesn't purposely go, I need to get some newspaper. It's the human puts the newspaper down. The human does. Like, the dog doesn't go grab a newspaper and bring it along. So even if you park dog, you wouldn't worry about the newspaper. Like a dog, it's the human that worries about the newspaper, not the dog. You train the dog to go on the newspaper. You have to train the dog yet. Like if he wanted to act like an actual dog, he would have just go out to the lawn and do it in front of the building or something. But whatever. I think this is where you start to realize he's losing some of his intelligence. See, I mean, they tried to do a couple things. They tried to do with the whole Klump stuff and have more of the Klumps and have the new love interest. You got one person losing his intelligence. You got the whole stuff with Buddy Love. You got the others. I mean, the dog stuff. They try to force a lot of stuff into this. I just didn't think any of them were funny. I didn't think any of them were entertaining. I'm trying to think what films came out in 2000. I know. Of course, I got a message. I got a response. Sorry, guys. Of course, the idea is, oh my god, even the hamster's beating me. I forget what the hell I was going to look up. Oh, films of this year, 2000. I think Mission Impossible 2, X-Men 1, Gladiator, I think. Scary Movie, The Perfect Storm. Let's look at July. Yeah, Disney's The Kid, which I didn't mind. Scary Movie, X-Men, Pokemon 2000, What Lies Beneath, which was a hit. Nutty Professor II. Then you had Coyote Ugly, Hollow Man, which I really enjoy Hollow Man. Space Cowboys, I don't mind. The Replacements, The Cell, which is a good one. The Art of War with Wesley Snipes. The highest grossing films of 2000: Mission Impossible 2, Gladiator, Castaway, What Women Want, Dinosaur, How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, Meet the Parents, The Perfect Storm, X-Men, and What Lies Beneath. So, those were the biggest hits of that year. God, we got an hour left of this fucking film, man. Can't believe we got an hour left of this fucking movie. Whenever someone has those foils, well, those things, I always say is going to be making popcorn. I mean, I don't know why it's not that kind of foil, but when people are in the beauty pageant, they have those things in a certain angle. It's like, again, popcorn's going to be popping out of their damn head. Sorry, of course, someone has to message me. It was more of this family drama that's so hilarious or so whatever. Sorry about that, folks. This is just more of the stupid fucking family drama. Why should I give a fuck? Well, you know, you're supposed to care about the comedy. Why don't think it's fucking funny, man? I mean, people love the Klumps. And yeah, I guess the box office, I'm sure, was disappointing to the fact that, like I said before earlier, there was no third film. I'm sure if this had done or done better than the first one, it would They would have had a third one. What would the plot of the third one be? You know what? I think the plot of the third film, what they probably would have done. Why do I feel like they would have the two of them team up? Sherman and Buddy Love. Now, Richard Dant, of course, he was the promoter in Rocky Five. Touch me, I'll sue. Richard Dant is the guy who is the dad of Janet Jackson who opened the door there, so he's like, touch me, I'll sue. He was also in Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Friday, the guy that ate the Jason heart. So, always nice to see Richard Dant there. Then we have this kind of makeup for the younger version of the dad. I'll be right back. I'm going to finish this so I'm not just keep looking on the phone. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry about that. I just had to turn the damn phone off because it's like I'm in the middle of something. So I'm paused at 50 minutes, 49 seconds. Unpause now. Now, the dad, younger, is dancing. Got the toilet bowl, haircut. Showing, you know. So the comment, just the, okay, just the writing of this is so fucking awful. Okay, we're gonna have jokes. What jokes do we have for Eddie Murphy? Okay, you're half dog, so you don't take a dump in a bathroom with a newspaper. Okay, you're dumb, so you're so dumb that your fly is down. You haven't put your fly up, and doing all this stupid stuff during dinner. This is like bad. I won't even say sitcom stuff. This is like, you know, this is awful fucking shit. And again, all this stuff could be done if anybody could just talk to someone, communicate. Every one of these fucking problems could be solved if someone communicated with someone else. My fucking God in heaven. That's what's so annoying about this. It's just fucking communicate. Talk to your family about what's going on with Buddy Love. Talk to your family about what's going on, and maybe they could help, or they could explain to Janet Jackson what the fuck's going on. I think if she loves you so much that she wants to marry you, then she would want to help you. In fact, she'd probably be happy that you trusted her in telling her this information. I know that corn doesn't even look that good, because the corn that looks good to me is like would be nice and yellow, and that, I don't know, doesn't look like a good corn on the cob to me. This is fucking stupid, you know. Oh, it was caught on my zipper. It's near my dick. Oh my god. Suck my dip, movie. Fuck this shit. Oh, did you almost forget about Buddy Love? Because I almost forgot about fucking Buddy Love. I forgot about him. Did you forget about him? I forgot about him too. I completely forgot about Buddy Love. That he was a thing. Almost like he was a fucking afterthought of this movie. Only there to do dog jokes. He gets excited by watching dogs humping. His face is outside, but his dog's face like to be outside the window. I mean... Like, why do they think, okay... I don't know, man. Well, isn't the joke here is that this guy looks small, but when he takes it off, he's like well muscled. Or I might think of a different movie, because that's a joke that's been done in a lot of other movies. Well, he's not well muscled, but that's the thing that he does kick his ass. Fucking Karate Kid here. The guy trying to be the wannabe Karate Kid, I mean, he does what he can. I think the actor does what he can with the material he's given. If there's one of the things that's a close highlight would be the other guy beating up the Eddie Murphy in that previous scene. God, this movie sure feels like it goes on forever, doesn't it? God damn. And how convenient that Buddy Love was there at the right moment, at the right time to see that guy change. And he changed at that right moment, that right time for Buddy Love to see him. Like, how convenient this fucking entire scene is. He changes at that time, at that moment, at that alley, whatever. And then Buddy Love has to be right there and happens to see it. And what perfect fucking timing that would have to fucking be. Holy shit, goddamn. And of course, you know where this is going to go is that she's going to be freaked out. She's going to wonder who the hell is this person. And then he's got to explain and blah, blah, blah. And all that jazz. And it's like, I don't fucking care. And I don't know why anyone would care. And oh my fucking god. I don't fucking care about your fucking limp dick problems. It's a weird thing to say alone at night in your fucking room by yourself, but thankfully I don't have that yet, but too, I don't care about anyone else having it. As long as I don't have it, I don't care what for anyone else if they have it or not. And as long as it don't fucking happen to me. Again, communication. Fucking talk to each other. God damn. Is that fucking difficult? Apparently it is. It's fucking talk. Still got 46 fucking minutes of this movie. This feels like this movie is going on forever. Holy shit. Goes on for fucking ever. God damn. Like, is this movie going anywhere? We saw briefly the Eddie Murphy character he played in the first one, the Russell Simmons. Richard Simmons, the exercise guy. I remember this being the nightmare sequence. Because there was a nightmare sequence in the first movie where he was giant and big and fat and acting like Godzilla. Well, now here, because, yeah, remember this is 2000. So literally in 1998 you had Deep Impact and you had Armageddon. Armageddon was the bigger hit. So by the time they start writing the film is probably 99. So Armageddon and such is fresh in their minds. So they did put this in there. And also Star Wars. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So Armageddon and Star Wars, that's going to be referenced here. Because you're going to see like a Force Ghost. Yep, there's the Force Ghost. Do you remember Armageddon? Do you remember Phantom Menace? And of course, going to be him farting. Like, this is just like, and there's Charles Napier on the other end. Charles Napier, is that, I think that's Miguel Nunez Jr. Miguel Nunez. Yeah, it is Miguel Nunez. So, before the guy with Janet Jackson, that's Charles Napier, he was Murdoch in Rambo First Blood Part 2. Murdoch, I'm coming for you. And then in Miguel Nunez, he's been in a lot of stuff. He was in The Return of the Living Dead. He was in Friday the 13th Part 5, Joanna Man, among others. So the joke there is that he was so dumb he didn't put it on the asteroid, he put it on the moon. But really it's just one overblown fart joke. That's what it is, just an overblown fart joke. There you go. Oh, fucking god, man. Like So Buddy Love's there to take the bits of the potion to use as evidence, how you want to put it, that he has something valid. So you get the money and stuff. Oh, that's right, and she thinks he's the guy she's calling You know, stripper, all that stuff. Which means they kiss, and that means you got incest. Because Buddy Love is still Sherman, it's still the same DNA, the same family. So that means he's still somewhat related and still. So incest jokes now. Incest. So we have incestual jokes, we got fart jokes, we got limp dick jokes, more fart jokes. Again, this is the era, they're trying to be the shock humor. In American Pie in '99, Austin Powers sequels try to be more of that, etc. That gross out humor, gross out gags, try to be more prominent. Jeez Louise. And they spent 80 some million dollars on this fucking film, man. I mean, it made, again, it's funny how it made in the US about the same amount as the first, 120 some million. Yeah, I think this made $1 million shorter than the first one in the US. But, you know, the first one did make more money overseas. See, that's the thing, though. Like, okay, a lot of people may have seen your first film, but that does not mean everybody loved your film. Now, yes, if you really saw and heard praise, like X-Men that came out this year. So X-Men 2 came out and was a much bigger deal. And many other sequels throughout have done that. But I don't know if the Nutty Professor was the case on that. I mean, I know there are people who liked it, but I don't think everybody liked it. So this is the actual stripper. Hmm. I don't know what to say about this fucking film. It's 38 minutes left. Jesus. Oh, this is where the tits are gonna be flopping around underneath the shirt. There you go. So we have fantasies of gum and blowjobs with the gums. Jesus Christ. My fucking God, man. Just like, what else am I supposed to talk about with this fucking film, man? Why he doesn't just push her and run off, I don't know. I mean, you got what you needed. Just push her off and run off. Like, you got what you needed. So, why would you not? I didn't just push her. And even that like looked awkward because it's Eddie Murphy playing both roles, and it's like they're trying to kiss, but they can't really kiss, and that just looked really awkward. Sorry, I'm sorry to Brian for the me yawning and stuff and running out of things to say. Because with this film, I mean, it's not like a bad film where it's tons of wall to wall god awful special effects. Or I was a big fan of the first film, so I could go through all the ways. Oh, how they just desecrated the first film and ruined the first film. Not that case for me, because I don't even like the first one. It's just that this film, it feels long, it feels overlong, it feels like it's just kind of all these half baked ideas strung together to churn along the running time. Trying to remember is I keep getting these confused. Is this the one with the giant hamster that gets to CGI form and humps Larry Miller, fucks him in the ass? I think it is. Because I think the brother character is like, was that supposed to happen? I think that's the case in this. I think. I don't know. I get that confused with the. I don't know why. I think it is. Yeah, I think that's the case here, yeah. Just gives him it and then becomes this big, giant, furry thing and goes on a rampage and eventually fucks Larry Miller. Does anyone think there's a thing at the end where Larry Miller kind of winks at, or it winks at him? And Larry Miller's like, or something, I don't know. Of course, that's the bit that Buddy Love tampered with, so because it's been tampered with, it's going to go haywire. A lot of CGI stuff, like it's doing backflips and stuff. Oh, here we go. Yep, this is the one. I think there's some practical effects during this, which I like and appreciate. Like, that's. Well, actually, that might have been practical. Well, that's CGI, obviously. But I do remember, yes, some of the, like, yeah, there you go. Giant shit pellets being shot out of his ass. Giant shit pellets shot like a shotgun, like cannonballs. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? What are you doing, Eddie Murphy? Like, that's practical, and I think that's a pretty cool looking effect by Rick Baker and his team. But I like to imagine, like, okay, Rick Baker, I want you to make this giant hamster. Okay, what are we doing in the scene? Well, we're going to have a shit these pellets out of his ass like his cannonballs. And then we're going to violate, hump, and fuck Larry Miller in the ass. So a guy just got sodomized by a giant hamster. Was that supposed to happen? Yeah, there you go. So yeah, okay. One guy fucked in, humor, sodomized. He's got sodomized. That's so funny. A guy got fucked. And he didn't want to get fucked. He got fucked by an animal too. And I get it. There are films I like that have juvenile humor like that. The first Police Academy. I think it was that one where, was it G.W. Bailey? He's chasing and his head got stuck in the horse's ass. Is that my favorite joke in the movie? No. But I do like Michael Winslow doing the neigh and, the reaction of the actors. But there's other humor and characters and stuff that I enjoy about that film. And the first four of those Police Academy films. This one, though, is just... The only thing I do remember is the juvenile jokes. Because I'm like, you heard me. I'm like, is that the one where he got fucked by a giant hamster? Yes, it is. Oh, the shit shooting out of its ass like a shotgun. No, there it is. And it's just like, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Man. You just sit there and go, well, that's where we're at. That is where we are at. My God. And I like Larry Miller. I think he does what he can. Larry Miller is a good character actor. He's very solid. And like for what he's given, for what he's told to do, he's doing the best that he can. And there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you could work with. The chicken shit that you're served, it's hard to turn into chicken salad. Damaged brain cells, 26%. Again, it's like it's just trying to like throw all these ideas against the wall, hoping they all work for the audience. I mean, I'm not big on the first film, but it didn't even feel like the first film did that. The first film felt like it was like one flowing story. Here's Sherman, who's in love with this girl. Sherman, he's mad at himself for his weight. He's a very nice, kind, generous guy, but he wants to be in love with this lady. He thinks the lady could never accept him because of his weight, but the lady loves him for who he is under, not because of the physical appearance. He wants to fix that with this buddy love, this potion. He thinks it's cool at first, but it goes wrong. It goes awry. And then Buddy Love starts wanting to be its own identity and want to split apart. And you get to the ending where they're both fighting for control of the one body. Here it's like you got the whole Buddy Love and then him being part dog type of thing and him wanting to get rich quick thing. You got the mom and dad and their marriage problems and the limp noodle problems. Now you got the brain, going to the shitter. I will say, man, a lot of times I look at Janet Jackson and her face does remind me, in a good way, of her brother. Like you tell that they're related. Which I've always been a fan of Michael Jackson, and on the side note, no, I don't think he did what he was accused of. I don't, unless some evidence comes in that's 100% non-refutable evidence, I don't believe that he did it. There's just too many questions. There's too many. Okay, this person said this, but then it doesn't fit with this story, but then doesn't fit with this factoid. And they say this, and this, but then this, and this doesn't make sense, and I don't know. There's the one kid whose father, wasn't like some audio. We don't get him. We don't get him. Him being Michael Jackson, and then like they did that documentary, and it's like, well, wait a minute, you said that you did it this time, but the thing wasn't even built at the time that you said, or you said it happened on this time, this date, this location, but Michael Jackson was across the country at that time and date. So it's like, okay, well, what? Oh, well, I was so happy when Michael Jackson died, but then, and under testimony, it was said that you didn't find out till after Michael Jackson died, so okay, what specifically were you cheering about when Michael Jackson died? It was because of you thought he did the other things, or the way you said was because of what he did to your son, but again, you didn't find out until after he died. But yet you cheer when he died. I mean, that's for me. It's just all these factors. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions. So, I mean, I know I'm going off that tangent, but just remind me of since Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson was there. I don't know why, and this it makes me think the I don't know why this bit here makes me think of the Honeymooners. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Just for some reason, the Honeymooners just popped in my brain. Which there was a movie, the Honeymooners, but I think they called it something else, or did they? I know there's a one with Mike Epps and was it Cedric the Entertainer, the Honeymooners? I think. So it's gotta be like him having to fix his own brain damage, but then this whole thing where now this guy's selling it to this other company. Well, thank God he had this computer up. Well, thank God they had the computer up and no one did anything. No one fought, touched it or anything. Again, if you had just told her from the beginning, she could have helped out and done this shit. See, like, she finds this out, she don't let the family know. This shit could have been fixed up and done, like, so much earlier in the movie. Like, my god, like, all he had to do was show her the computer. That's all he had to do. And like, do I care that Buddy Love's going to sell a youth thing to another organization? Like, do I really give a fuck about that? No. I just don't. I don't know if many people did. Or gave a fuck about it. I would assume Eddie Murphy's character has the this looks like something that would be in the fucking Shaggy Dog with Tim Allen. He catch pretty much Sherman threw a ball and Buddy Love caught it in his mouth. I had some of the potions, and I was going to screw up Buddy Love. So another joke is that you have this baby with some CG manipulation, and it's got Eddie Murphy, and Oh god, that was awkward. That CGI with the hands coming in to pick the baby up. There's such awkward CG. I was just gonna say I was just waiting for the piss joke. I was waiting for him to piss on Larry Miller. Nice breasts on the lady. I'll give you that. That's like the second joke about someone staring at a woman's breasts at the beginning at the nightmare wedding. Sherman's looking at Janet Jackson's tits, and then just here now. And now we have this fucking blob. It's shit. You want to see a shitty version of the blob? Here you go. Now Eddie Murphy's voicing this fucking blob thing. I mean, it just. I think at the. I mean, I know we got about 15 minutes left of the film. That's with the credits. The thing with this movie is just, in my opinion, in my viewpoint, people I know do like this film and they champion the film. Hey, every film is a fan. I did it. I did. Every film is a fan. There's nothing wrong with that. I did it. For me though, yeah, not being big on the first one, but it was a hit. It was a big hit. But they're like, well, it was a. Not every movie that makes money needs a sequel. That's really what it is at the end of the day. That was my point. Not every movie that needs not every movie needs a sequel. Not every movie needs a. Nutty Professor didn't need a sequel. There's no more story to tell, and this proves it. It's like they had ideas and they just put it all in the same movie. How about the idea that Sherman gets dumber? How about the idea that Sherman and Buddy are now two separate entities? How about the idea of dealing more with the Klumps and love story? The Klumps are affected by it in some way, some shape, some form. It's funny that he's trying to remember stuff and none of them are from the first movie. Like, apparently, he has no memories of the first film to be implemented into his brain during those moments. I mean, how convenient that Larry Miller's not here. If he was still here, he could have told them in 30 seconds what had happened. Buddy Love came and he was right there and blah blah blah. For me, this is just a fucking. In my opinion, this is a piss poorly written movie. I don't think it's funny. I think a lot of the jokes suck. The plot just slogs along, trying to go in all these other directions. And I just don't care. And somehow a drop that came out of nowhere fell into the fountain. I mean, there was nothing there. It was just the whatever the hell was on the side looked like fucking crystals or dust or something. And then all of a sudden, and why would it glow? I don't know why it would glow. Why would it glow like that? I don't know why. Like somehow it waited that long for a drop to form and fall into the fountain, and then for some reason it's glowing. And also, like, how little of that formula would be among the fountain. That'd be like if I took, okay, if I took this bottle of water, right, and I took this Mellow Yellow, and I put 3 drops into it, like, a drop, like this drop, I would still barely taste the Mellow Yellow. I would still barely have that stuff in there. So would it be enough to really change them back? But you're not supposed to think about it. I know. You're not supposed to think about that. You're not supposed to... It is what it is. It's there, and it succeeded, and that's all you're supposed to care about. Why is it that when Sherman and Buddy got... So if Sherman doesn't have Buddy, his brain goes down. But Buddy can live on his own and not worry about having any of Sherman's stuff. It was like Buddy had gotten the better deal just with the dog thing, but... I think someone had asked me about a Nutty Professor 3, like what they would have done. I think what they would have done, I said this before, that it would have been somehow Sherman and Buddy Love working together against some enemy. I don't know what that enemy would be, but somehow Sherman and Buddy Love would have to work together. Yeah, I don't know what that looked for Larry Miller. What's he going to do? Stick it up his ass? What is he, Richard Gere? And what's he going to do with it? But I don't know. But yeah, I guess maybe Buddy Love and Sherman like work together against some common enemy. Like something happens, but I don't know what it would be though. Like Sherman screw up again or something. Maybe a family member. Maybe something like a family member is going through things and he needs help to save a family member. But the only way, somehow, some way, is to have... But I don't know. It'd be the same problems as this one. Trying to find a story when there's none to be had because everything was told in the first movie. Like the first Nutty Professor had a beginning, middle, and end. The original with Jerry Lewis. Same with the first one. Again, they did the sequel because the first one made a lot of money and they just threw a bunch of ideas and they hoped they would all stick enough for people to enjoy it. And let's be shocking because that's the it thing right now. So we have the baby piss and we have multiple fart jokes. Multiple. During this dinner scene, the outtakes, there was a fart joke. There's the nightmare scene on the spacecraft, a fart joke. Wasn't it with the woman with when the gel of the Russ Buddy Love was on her ass? Look how many Eddie Murphys that is. Jesus Christ. Sometimes a bit. Sometimes it's too much, man. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's too much, man. Like the whole thing of fucking Eddie Murphy. Like, goddamn. Sometimes, like, you know what? Maybe we need to cut back a bit. Yeah, Chris Elliott as restaurant manager. What the hell? Like, I mean, I get Chris Elliott's not a big star, but, you know, a few people recognize him, including me. He doesn't even have a name, just restaurant manager. Oh, that was Wanda Sykes. I think the beauty parlor scene. I'm like, is that Wanda Sykes? It is Wanda Sykes. And she was in, was it? I think she was in Clerks 2 and some other films. There you go. Peter Segal as one of the steered popcorn men. Puppeteers. Yeah, control a giant hamster that shits out giant pellets and fucks Larry Miller in the ass. What a way. What a feeling. Thank God this is fucking over, though. Thank God, man. Sorry if the commentary petered out like halfway through. I apologize, Brian. I mean, I do like doing commentaries on films I don't like because I just bash it and cuss at it the whole time. And that's fun to do, so I'll do as many as people want me to. Feel free. It's just with comedies. At the end of the day, a comedy is very simple, and okay, it's not simple to make, but it's simple to determine. Was it funny or not funny? And that's subjective, and everybody has a different sense of humor. My subjective opinion is I didn't think much of the first one, and this was even worse. It was more fart jokes, more of those type of gross out jokes. A meandering story. I don't think this needed to be an hour and 40 some minutes. I don't. And just a lot of cringe moments. Again, the whole giant hamster gerbil, whatever the fuck thing, the other stuff is like, oh wow, Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. worked on animatronic hamster puppets. Of course, those two worked on Tremors. They worked with Stan Winston for many years. Steve Austin. Not that Steve Austin. A different Steve Austin. Not Stone Cold. I don't know, I'm just looking at these credits. But yeah, pretty much after this, I mean, Eddie would stay mostly in the family realm because Shrek would be in 2001. And Shrek was huge. Shrek, good movie, huge hit. And that's when, okay, definitely be more on the family friendly train. Shrek, Dr. Dolittle, Shrek sequels, Dr. Dolittle 2, Daddy Daycare, which I like that film. I saw that in the theater. That film made $100 million. Like, people can scoff at it. Daddy Daycare made $100 million. Go figure. And again, I like the film for what it is. Like, that's a family film. Eddie Murphy, I thought was cute. I did. I still think it's cute. I think him and the kid who plays his son, they actually work well together. It's about a good dad trying to do well for... So how many movies is... Oh, the dad doesn't pay attention to his son. The dad neglects his son. The dad neglects his son for 90% of the movie. And then finally, the last 5 minutes, oh, he tries and it's all good. No, the whole movie is him being a good father to his son. How refreshing. It's not a deadbeat dad. It's a dad that got fired, he doesn't know what to do, and he creates a business of his own with some friends. Was it Jeff Garlin? and Steve Zahn. I think Jeff Garlin's name. But anyway. But yeah, I like Daddy Daycare. I don't even remember if I saw Daddy Daycare with Cuba Gooding Jr. I might not have. If I did, I don't remember a single thing about it, but yeah. But yeah, again, this is a film I'm kind of surprised they haven't tried to do another sequel to. But maybe they realize, pushing it for a second film was even that was a bit too far. Plus, yeah, I think with how many years has passed, a lot of those characters were probably. I mean, Eddie Murphy played all of them, but a lot of those characters, age-wise, would realistically be probably dead by now. Because again, this was 25 years ago. This is 25 years ago. And in my opinion, still fucking sucks. Thank you for the Krispy Kreme donuts and the glacier water. No animal was harmed in the making of this movie. That's good. So it's not like Heaven's Gate, the movie, back to the day. Animated Universal Studios logo 1997. That's interesting that the animated is different date. But there you go. That is the Nutty Professor II. PG-13, by the way. So, there you go. A lot of those jokes, you get away with PG-13, I guess, but that's how it is. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And I'm glad this is over. Thanks once again, Brian. I hope you enjoy something with this commentary. Take care, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.